So here's something about perspective, your perspective on God especially. And I was with my folks this last week, if you saw my previous video. And it's all about perspective. So while I was with my folks, good friends of my parents, the husband fell and hurt himself, is now in hospice within a few days. And he had some other ailments that were reducing his quality of life, but this was the final one. And so we talked a bit, and Dad said, you know what, just a month, maybe a little over a month ago, he just finished making communion rails for the church. Now you have to go up a step to get to the communion rails, and some of the elderly have a hard time making that step. And so what they did is they took out the front row of pews, and then he made from those pews, the wood, a communion rail. So it's the same wood, pews did not get wasted, etc. The whole church stays intact that way, and made the communion rails down by the first step. Beautiful work. He spent a lot of time on it. Sorry, I'm just picking up some sticks. There was a wind here while I was gone. Oh, we went through some wind back to Iowa, let me tell you. Woo! Got blown all over the place. Saw a semi-trailer on its side, an RV on its side, two semi-trailers that came together because when one passed the other, the wind is suddenly gone and you steer into the other one. Woo! But we made it, and that was the day we were supposed to leave. We came back during the night thanks to this little doggy. Apparently God wanted us to come through the night. And so that little doggy has gone from one owner to two owners to three now in 5 months' time. And if you watch my previous video, you get more of the scoop. So anyway, my dad's a little upset, thinking, you know what? Here he went to all this effort for the Lord, for the church, for God, God's people. And then he stumbles and falls and breaks his hip or something. And now he's, soon to be gone, with the Lord, obviously. And he was like, and I know Dad can relate. There's been times in his life where he does something, it's like the phrase, no good deed goes left undone. Of course, the Bible says also that there's many troubles for a good man, but God delivers them out of them all. That's a pretty rough paraphrase, but and so he's had things where, you do something extra and then you pay a price for it. I said, Dad, I think you got that backwards. And after I explained it to him, he agreed. And I said, the Lord knew the day he would be leaving this earth. And so he made sure, while he was still able, to be able to do something that will last for his own gratification and something that you'll always remember him by every Sunday after he's gone. So it's all about perspective, It's like, do you want to look at the worst possible explanation of something? And we can only guess on the side of eternity unless God really shows you. Or we can look at something different or not even bother to try to figure out at all. That's up to you, I guess. But perspective. Keep your perspective. Don't let the devil get in your head. Keep your perspective.